Dear students and parents, I am indeed grateful to Mr. Ashok Pandey, a very dear friend of mine, for inviting me for this. I would call this a mini lit fest because this is the beginning of your journey to attend and address lit fest all over the country. So I congratulate Mr. Brahmam for conceiving this very idea, because I wish in our young age we had such platforms. I remember as a youngster, there used to be a magazine published by the St. Paul Society in Allahabad, which was called The Teenager. I used to write for it. And that was the first platform I got. My entire career as a journalist, right from a sub-editor trainee to the head of Doordarshan, would not have happened but for the opportunity to write which I got as a school student for The Teenager. So this opportunity is very important, but thanks to internet, thanks to social media platforms, blogging, today's youngsters have got much more opportunities than the previous generation. And believe me, we are human beings per se, Indians in particular. We love listening to stories. We love telling stories. We have been storytellers for ages, whether it is the Ramayana or the Mahabharata. From generation to generation, in India we have the Shruti and Smriti tradition. We learnt by rote, and that was passed on from one generation to another. That is how for centuries, there were hardly any written documents. Look at Ramcharitmanas or Hanuman Chalisa. Maybe except for one's initial stages with some scholars, there used to be some copies. But other than, every household would sing these songs, would recite extempore from these scriptures. How? It is these stories. We hear about the Dada Dadi ki kahaniya, from one generation to another. The Panchatantra, the Jataka tales. So today we have this concept of visual storytelling. And I'm a teacher of mass communication. In our classrooms, we teach about visual storytelling. Everything is a story. Everybody needs stories. I don't know how many of you watch advertisements on, because I'm again a student of mass communication. I not only watch news, I not only watch programs, but I also watch advertisements to study advertisements. So I don't know how many of you remember there was this, I wish there was a audiovisual, opportunity here which I could have shown, but please do watch it. There is this story which was beautiful. It went viral. I don't know how many million times it has been seen. There is this young girl, maybe of your age, and her grandfather tells her a story about his young age. And he used to eat something called jajaria. And this jajaria he used to eat in Lahore. And he remembered his friend Yusuf. And he said that Yusuf was my best friend. But with partition, I came here, Yusuf was left there. But I still remember that jajaria and all that. He had a shop there. Yusuf's father used to run that shop. So this girl searches on Google. And the only thing he remembers is that it used to be near Mochi Gate. So she searches for Mochi Gate, in Lahore, Jhajaria. He gets the contact details. He calls up that shop. Son of Yusuf picks up that. Grandson of Yusuf picks up that. Then he says that I am so and so. My grandfather used to be your grandfather's friend. So then you remember that advertisement?
Yes, Google ad. Yes.
Google ad.
Yes.
So then what happens is that then both of them do everything on, they decide that he decides to fly to Delhi. I mean, of course, these are things of the past. So then they apply for a visa. How to apply for a visa? Everything, of course, they search it through Google only. Then they search for the airlines, and then he takes a Pakistan International airline and he reaches Delhi. They book a cab through Google. Finally, it is meant to be a surprise for the Indian grandfather. He opens the door, it is raining. It's a very emotional scene when he opens the door and this Yusuf brings a box full of jhajaria for him. And he becomes emotional on seeing that. And then he looks at his face, both of them look at it, and he says, Arey Yara Yusuf. And then, they hug each other and it is such a beautiful story which has been used by Google to sell. Google never say use Google. But throughout the story, from beginning to end, the search is done through Google. So even for recently I saw another advertisement, very interesting, and that was Diwali in Cherrapunji. Diwali in Cherrapunji, it is all wet. They cannot, burst crackers. They cannot lit diyas. And they try everything. It's about, there is a song which follows, and these people, youngsters, are in Cherrapunji trying to celebrate Diwali, but nothing works, The rockets don't go off because it's raining, cat and dog. And then finally, they all decide to come together in the room and then watch a movie. Okay. And that movie, that RRR, they watch. There is that dance also. What is that dance? Nacho. So they dance that, and suddenly the lights go off. So then they switch on their mobiles. And then they say festival time is family time. And then one line comes, Netflix. So Netflix is promoting itself not by selling Netflix. What is Netflix? I mean, then Amazon is also there. Z5 is also there. Now, they are saying that Netflix time is family time. Now, they are selling concepts because there is nothing new in the product. It is the same product. OTT platforms are almost the same. But what they want to say is that, look, Netflix becomes synonymous with, so they build a story around it, they weave a story around it. So there is no industry today, whether it is advertising, where they don't need the stories. People are looking for stories. And believe me, there are stories all around you. All around you. Now, at India Habitat Center, we are building something called, in our library, a Delhi documenta. The whole idea in our library is that we have one single stop for all information related to Delhi. Because we don't have. You see, we need to know our city. Because a new layer, we have been talking about 7 cities, right, from Indraprasth to, but there is no documentation. What is this city? I mean, you have a lot of novels there, the city of jinns, and a lot of stories have been written about Delhi. But about Delhi, there is very little knowledge among Delhiites. Now, thanks to social media, the image given about Delhi is something totally different. मतलब दिल्ली वाले को पहचानना है तो वो कहीं खड़े होकर 4 गाली दे रहा होगा. And that's what social media tells us. I'm also a Delhi wala, born and brought up in this city. This city is mine. I was born here in Lodi Road, and this is my karma bhumi also now. Now, what is interesting is that people know very little about. They talk about Mumbai, they talk about Kolkata, but about this city, very few people know. But there are so many interesting stories. About every mohalla has a story. You know, Patpatganj. Patpatganj was a battlefield. You know, the other day, there's this interesting story. I'll conclude. I know I'm taking a, but you should remember this fact that I'm a professor and I'm by habit.
Professor,
So,
we have given you a lot of time.
so you see, there is this place called Sarai Julena. I pass by it every day. I did not know it. That there was this Portuguese tutor by the name Juliana. So Juliana came to the Mughal court and she was actually tutoring Mughal princes in Portuguese because there used to be trade ties with Portugal. But then later on, Juliana realized that, there are European travelers coming to, those were, they say, the 1700s. So she felt that they are not getting good European breakfast and stuff like that. So in South Delhi, she set up a lodge. And lodges used to be called sarais. So it was Sarai Juliana. And over a period of time, due to slang, we all started saying Juliana. Juliana, we could not pronounce, the locals could not pronounce Juliana. So they started saying Juliana, Juliana, Juliana. Sarai Juliana. Sarai Juliana is the lodge which used to be run by Juliana. You know, such interesting stories about every part of our city. There are so many stories. And you youngsters, you should start exploring. Today, please, my only thing is that today we use AI, artificial intelligence, and everything can be. People who, even in my office, people who could never write one single sentence in English are today writing long application letters with such beautiful Shakespearean, lovely. So thanks to AI, everybody, even AI comments are now, using AI. People are writing such brilliant. I know about a Hindi professor who has started commenting on all my posts in English. So, but AI can give you stories, but they cannot give you that human touch.
That emotional touch.
That emotional touch, that feeling, that empathy, that as somebody here came and said that you need to be a very good human being, to be a sensitive writer. So to observe things, you have to keep your eyes and ears open. You have to, and it's good that, I'm sure that none of your stories have used any AI tool, and I could make out from the book also, the compilation. It's a very good start to your writing career. You need not all be professional authors, but then this is a passion which you can follow. And I'm sure that, if you do it in that spirit of, of observing things, for that, but you need to practice, believe me. You need to not just read as much as you can, you also need to practice writing. Good handwriting, of course, has already been spoken about, but you need to write. This writing has to be part of every day, at least one page you should write. Even if you are in the midst of your examination, write about something that you have observed today, something that has happened in your school, something that has happened in your neighborhood or at your home, something, just one page. Make it a habit to write. And once you get into that habit of writing, then that is the most important thing. And then, of course, you have to express yourself in words. And believe me, the last thing that I would like to say is that write to express, not to impress. No need to become Shashi Tharoor. You can, the whole idea is that you should all try to express yourself. The idea is not to impress any teacher or your classmate, because if your language cannot be understood by your reader, if your context cannot be understood by your reader, then that reading is not worth it. Then that writing is not worth it. Because if your readers have to look for dictionaries, to understand what you have written, then, it would really be of no relevance to the society at large. So I'm sure that, this is not the time for long speeches. I've already given one. And you have already had a good dose of positivity from all my previous speakers. I'm sure that these ideas will help you, and this kind of a platform is there. Take it as a launch pad, that this time it is a story, next time it would be a book. It would be with that spirit that you should start writing, and I wish you all the best in your life. Thank you for inviting me. God bless.